to welcome to our investment awareness program, Investment Consent Fragile Market. We oddly request our speaker Praful Lalwani and Nikita Lalwani to occupy dais. I request all to please type our CA motto song.
सुप्तेषु जाग्रति य एष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति कामं 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 कामुषो पुरुषो निर्विमाणः निर्विमाणः अदेव शुक्रं ब्रह्मा
Please be seated. UFO video will be played.
Arthashastram, Dharmashastram cha mean economic principles Arth and ethical considerations Dharma, which are central to the work of accountants. The entire world is deliberating about the impact of climate change coupled with disruptions of artificial intelligence. India has given philosophy of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam to the world and successfully hosted G20 summit on this theme and also launched Global Biofuels Alliance. The accounting profession also has an enormous responsibility to guide the work, where accountability meets innovation so that vision can be converted into solution. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, being the world's largest accounting body after the successful hosting of WCOA 2022 and GLOBAC, proudly presents before the World Forum of Accountants 2025. Accountability meets innovation for a sustainable planet. The world's brightest minds will exchange insights, explore emerging trends, and unlock the possibilities for the profession, where foundation will be laid to shape the vision for the future of accounting profession. Hosted at Yashobhoomi, the largest convention and exhibition center in the heart of India's capital, New Delhi, inaugurated by the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, is all set to host the congregation of accountants from around the world. And while you're here, experience the vibrant culture and heritage of New Delhi, a city where history meets modernity, offering unforgettable memories.
World Forum of Accountants, an experience of 3 days, insightful discussion, groundbreaking innovations, and unparalleled networking opportunities.
With immense pride, we invite you to WOFA 2025, taking place, happening from January 31st to February 2nd, 2025, at the magnificent Yashobhoomi, New Delhi. Experience 3 days of insightful discussions, groundbreaking innovations, and unparalleled networking opportunities. World Forum of Accountants 2025 is where you need to be, where accountability meets innovation, AI for a sustainable planet. Join us at WOFA 2025 from January 31st to February 2nd, 2025 at Yashobhoomi, New Delhi. For more details, visit wofa.icai.org.
It's my pleasure to introduce Praful Lalwani, sir. He is the company secretary and at LLB. He is a proprietor in Praful Lalwani and associate company secretary is ICSFP reviewed firm. So 10 plus years of practice in the area of corporate law, secretarial audit. He is the independent director in NIDEC India Precision Tools Limited. Thank you, sir, for your presence. I request CA Poti Madhavan, sir, to present memo to our speaker. Is Nikita Khalrani. Is a CS, CMA, LLP, BBA. His experience over 7 years in all kind of statutory compliance like company law, FEMA, RBI. So he's incorporated of various kind of legal entities in India and corporate compliance, handled secretarial audit due diligence of listed companies, all type of secretarial and legal compliance. Thank you, ma'am, for presence. I request CA Uma Maheshwari, ma'am, to present this memo too.
To this welcome opportunity. Today is the topic of investor awareness program. So I will be talking on investor awareness and then investment concern in the fragile market. So the meaning of money don't buy happiness. It will give you opportunity, it will give you choices, like where you invest it, that choices will make you happiness. That choices only will give you happiness. And if you buy things which you do not need right now, soon you will have to sell the things which you require. Like if you are buying luxury goods right now immediately, which is not required for you, then what is the necessity in your future? That things you have to sell it, like cars and all, that necessity is for you, that you have to sell it for your luxury food, EMI things and all, you have to sell it off. So that is why it's important to manage your money very carefully, like how you invest it. So usually what kind of things we do with our money? First thing, like either we will save it, or we will spend it, or we will invest it. Either of things we have to do that. So usually plan is like we should always keep it like a margin for the investment, then only we will start the spending. It's not like we whatever the things we want to spend it, first we will spend it, then only we will invest it. It's not the correct method. The correct method is do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. So usually that inflation impacts to our savings and expenses also. What kind of things today we are expenditure like approximately 30,000, it will increase by the inflation at the rate of 5%. It will increase by 5 years, 15 years and 20 years, gradually up to 80,000 rupees. So like that only savings also will gradually decrease. So today how much we are saving is like a 1 lakh rupees per month, then that 1 lakh rupees will become, after 20 years, it will be like around 40,000 rupees. So that is the money impact in our scenario. So what will be the solution? The solution, investing the safeguard against the inflation. So we have to start saving. The earlier you start, the better. Like today if you start investing, then it will be like a compounding effect in the next 20 years. If we start late, then compounding effect will be very less. So progress from savings to investment. If we are just saving only, that money will be like 20 rupees will be 20 rupees only. If you invest that 20 rupees, that 20 rupees will become 100 rupees. That is the money behavior. Put money to work rather than accumulating or keeping it idle. If we are just keeping it idle, it will not grow. You work hard to earn money, so make the money work hard for you. We are doing work hard for the like invest, like doing work and getting salary. So that salary should again work for you. That will give you more profit in futures. So the answer is the proper asset allocation. We have to asset allocate in the such a way like it will give you less risk and give more reward. So what is the financial planning? Financial planning is the practice of assessing one's current financial situation and drawing a financial plan to reach future life stage goals. So first we should understand what is the financial goals. We have to invest it for like child marriage or child education, or for my higher education, or for my retirement plan. That we have to fix the financial goals. Then we have to assess current financial situation, how much we are earning right now, like 10,000 rupees or 1 lakh rupees. We have to assess like how much financial situation, what is my financial situation current and futures, and create asset allocation and evaluate risk. And we have to understand our risk risk appetite, like how much risk we can take, like longer term perspectively or short term perspectively, how much risk I can take in current scenario, whether like I'm in like 45 years or 50 years, whether I will be able to take more risk right now or not. Or accordingly we have to invest in invest allocation. And after investing also we have to monitor, review and modify the financial planning if required. So factors of the investment evaluation. So while investing anything like in evaluation, we have to do evaluate whether it will be safe in the for longer term, whenever we want liquidate, it will be liquidate or not, on how much returns and all will come in the futures, and convenience will be there or not, taxability, how much tax will come, whether how much, whatever the investment I am doing it right now, whether it will be taxable longer term or short term, what will be the taxable and how much will be the tax deducted. What is the financial planning important? Usually we are doing why it is important to reach financial goals faster and in a disciplined manner. Investing systematically can help you in stay focused on goals. To enhance your standard of living, we have to enhance your standards of living. Saving and investment accordingly to a financial plan can help you live in a sustainable standard of living. To prepare for financial emergency, we have to prepare for financial emergency also. So we have to put some funds for emergency funds also. We will not invest all the money in the whatever the market or stocks, funds, bonds. We should not invest. We will keep the for financial emergencies also. To manage and save taxes efficiently. While investment, we should think about the tax also, whether it will be in tax long-term perspectively, how much it will be taxable, and what will be impact in the next overall the target. So we should understand that also. So that is the matrix of the risk and reward. So if we need high risk and high reward, that is the derivatives, futures, equity market and equity oriented products, mutual funds, ETF, that is the like high rewards. That it will give, it will be purely high risk. And in low reward and low risk if you want, then it will be bank deposit, post office savings, PPF, debt oriented funds, mutual funds, that will be low risk. But usually like people go with the low risk and high reward, that is the like scheme promising unrealistic returns where risk is very low. That people will give you, I will give you 100% reward like in the next 5 months, 4 months. That will be just wrong things, only wrong promises. It will not happen. Nobody can give promise in the stock market that much assured return will come in the next 1 or 2 months or 1 or 2 years. So investment sutra is, we have to plan for 3 kind of category. First thing is plan for emergency. We have to do plan for emergency for short term. Whatever things, anything will happen in emergency, we should keep it idle for emergency purpose. That will be like you can keep it for bank fixed deposit, FD, savings account or PPF. Not sorry, I'm not PPF, bank, post office, that immediately you can liquidate it, and immediately your savings will not turn off, and you can easily plan for your emergency. And after that, plan for family goals, for your child education, for your child marriage. That is the medium to short term plan, medium to long term plan. So that time, like, you can invest for stock market, for gold, real estate. That will be like your future purpose. And plan for retirement. So accordingly, this is the long term. So we have to plan it for like after 40 years, 50 years, we have to invest it. So financial products, what will be your goal? So just now I just like said, short-term goal or emergency, we have to invest in the fixed deposit, recurring deposit, in like that only. And if we have medium and long-term, then it will be, we can invest number of things that will be for medium or long-term purpose. And for insurance segment also, we have to invest like medical insurance, life insurance, or for other insurance. Insurance is the must for everyone. Everyone should take that also. And risk prospectively, that is the graph. When we are in young age, we can take high risk. When we are like in the elder age, we cannot take big risk. So risk will be very less. So medium risk and high risk. So that portfolio should be in the younger age. We can take high risk more, medium risk is like little bit, and small risk is be very less only. So accordingly, that graph should be there for the upcoming period. So what usually people say, what is the right time to invest it? Nobody can predict the time in the market. Timing in the market is also very wrong thing. Nobody can predict. So that is the time to start planning is now only. Immediately we should start it. Invest in less risky products for short-term goals, and for long-term goals, one may invest in the riskier products. For retirement, invest in stock market with the long-term perspectively. Monitor and be patient always. So Warren Buffett once said, never depend on one single income. Make investment to create second income also, second source for your income. That is the in the last 30 years, what kind of product they given return. So that inflation is 6.7% in last 30 years in average. Silver has given you 8.51%. Fixed deposit averagely they have given 8.7%. Gold also has given 8.8%. PPF also has given 9%, but recently it has gone down to 7%. Equity trend is like going and down, but in average it is coming 15%. So that is the source of ICRA. In that scenario, we have a sovereign gold bond scheme. That sovereign guarantee is given by the RBI on behalf of the government. Currently, this sovereign gold bond is on hold because of the recent budget of 2020-24. But still, the government of India is yet to decide with the RBI for whether they will invest it or not. But that product is very good for investment. That will give you higher returns with low taxation. Like that, exchange traded funds are available that will give you in low cost and high returns. In mutual funds, we have units, NAV and diversification. In shares, we have continuous pricing, trading like shares through broker. That both mix up that will become exchange traded fund. We can invest in on daily basis also. Immediately it will be available in the demat, and NAV also is there. We can trade in whenever we want. It will be liquidated. So ETF are popular investment choice for investors seeking a diversification, low cost comparatively to mutual funds. Transparency is available, flexibility and tax efficiently. ETF can be bought and sold throughout the trading day in the market. While doing asset allocation, we know lot of things are available in the market. That first thing is investment which grow in the value, like property, gold, art collections, equity shares that will grow in the value over the period of time. But income who will generate? Bonds, NSE, PPF, bank deposits, company deposits, bonds that will generate income. So mutual funds give you many scenario where like it will be accumulated all together and will give you new scheme. So are we investing in the current right asset or not? That we have to find out how we are investing it. So asset allocation should be like a balanced thali, all nutrition wise also, and other thing whatever we want, we our perspectively will be fulfilled. That is the asset allocation. So that is the primary market. In the primary market we have issues where public issues, right issues, preferential issues, bonus issues, like IPO, FPO is there. That is the primary market. In the primary market we have to do a lot of due diligence before investing anything. So in due diligence for primary market we have to consider material fact or non-material fact also. So if we just invest in the because of material facts, it will not be justified. Because in material fact we have to see about company financial statement, who is the company's competitor, and how a sector is performing, like green energy, and how it is sector is for not only the company perspectively, and other than non-material facts also, the management how is doing, how their resources, whatever the resources is coming to them, how they will use it, and what is the brand value, people perspective, or what is the people are saying in the form about the company. Current example I can say about the Ola. Market company financial statement is like growing only, but the thing is like in the company management is not perfect because of the service perspectively, and people perception are bad because of the services. But gradually they have increased it and become lined properly. Now it's like in a stock market stock is increased for the Ola. So satisfaction level should be there for the customer who is using the company's product. Customer attention level of the company. So that kind of material facts and non-material facts we all consider it all together, then only we can do due diligence. So due diligence is the systematic process of analyzing, investigating the material and non-material facts before any investment. So while doing due diligence in primary market directly, we have to do in company and industry wise analysis also. So we have to check data related to the company current macro and microfinance sector affecting company's growth and stock price, how it will affect company's growth, and what is the kind of government policy for this particular sector. Understanding business model of the company and its scope for the future growth. Take into account the past track of the record of turnover and profitability. We have to see about the EPS, what is the PE ratio of the company. We usually people are saying like PE ratio is smaller, then we can invest it. But it is not, it's a myth only. We have to invest in the good sector. Even though PE is like one company is gradually increasing in 20% to 30%, one company is increasing in 2% to 3%. So PE level will be different, but so we have to invest on the business or sector rather than in the stock market and rather than the one script, which is the low PE. So low PE is the not right myth. So corporate governance track record we have to check, and what is the reputation of the promoters and their shareholding in the company, whether they are continuously selling their shareholding or they are increasing it. We have to monitor it. And how much debt is there and the net worth. Compare the company with the other competitors in other in market. If like stock is available in other market, it's very cheap price, then we should invest in that price rather than investing in the higher price. Latest price and volume, historical data, corporate announcement, etc. we have to monitor it. What will be the sources of the due diligence? How we have to do, what kind of sources we should rely before investment? So we can go for NSE and PSE website for the announcement of the company, like what is the investment, what is meeting they are handling, what kind of decision they are conducting for this particular script. Company website we can check about their vision, mission, and research report, what research report says about that script. And MCA website, what kind of returns they have filed, whether they are doing proper corporate governance or not, how they are handling this everything. And social media also. In the social media, what about the people perspectively, how people are saying about this script. So three things, like many myths are there about the security market. People are saying stock market is a gambling, but actually it's not a gambling. It's like an investment plan. If we do investment, it will be not gambling. If you do trading or F&O or options, then it will be gambling only. Because in the gambling, one side, one person will be losing and one person will be winning. But in stock market, it's not like that. If you invest in good stocks and hold for 10 years, gradually it will increase for everyone and no one will lose in that market. So in gambling, one person is losing, but in stock market, no person is losing in investment. So investment is the not gambling things. So what goes up must come down and vice versa. That is also myth. Whatever the price is, suppose like HDFC Bank, I am just taking you example, it's available right now in 1500 or 1600. It will go down up to like 20%, but it is not available in the 100 rupees. So whatever is coming available right now, it will go up only. Sometimes it will go down, but it will gradually increase on. So trend consists of a series of advance and retreats resulting in a net increase over time. Don't try to time the market. We cannot time the market because no one can predict till the date what will be the market. Even though like market gurus are there, even if you see their trend analysis, then will be you see like whoever is the hold in the market, they are winner. They are actually winners, because in the trading no one will be like winning in that situation, because 90% in the trading will lose and 10% only will win the market. It will gain the win. So buy what is in the news. So if we are relying just only when news will come, then only I will invest, that is also wrong. We have to invest in proper the time, like we have funds in a month twice, like 3000 rupees I have to invest. So we have to invest 3000 rupees per month. So we will not wait for the news, because if you wait for the news, someone who is like professional market, who is the professional, they will buy and price will go up immediately. We will not get any time to invest it. So I will give you one more example on this. Suppose if you have 10,000 rupees monthly salary, and I am just targeting, I will save 30% of my salary in as an investment. So it's like 30% I am just saving, his investment amount is 3,000 rupees. So people says like, yeah, even our parents also says FD is the best option and it is the safest option for the investment purpose. So if I am allocating 100% to the fixed deposit, it will become 3,000 rupees. So I am just taking saving increment. As an industry perspectively, 10% will grow and inflation is a 5%. So after 10 years, my salary per month will be 23,000 rupees and investment is 7,000 rupees. That will become 7 lakh after 10 years. But as per the today's price, it will be 5 lakh rupees. And if you see in the 10,000 rupees, who is earning 10,000 rupees, he can also earn up to 1 crore. If you, in 30 years, he will gain up to 1 crore, 1.11 crore. But the time value of money will be 26 lakhs rupees. So if he is investing 3,000 rupees, but he has started and invested for 30 years, so he has made almost 1 crore. And if I'm like my investment plan is like medium risk, so I can choose fixed deposit 0% and Nifty 70% and 20% and 10%. In medium risk, I will choose Nifty 50, where big assets are available. I can choose 70% in that. In mid cap, where is the higher risk is there. In a small cap, people, which company, we don't know whether this company will work or not. So we are investing only 10% in this. So in the 10 years, it will become 10 lakh rupees, which will be cost is 6 lakhs rupees. He also will get in less than 25 years, he will earn 1.4 crore. And the high risk scenario, we can invest in the Nifty, in the small cap, because small cap can give you multi-bagger returns also sometimes. So I will invest in 70% in this and 20% in this, and Nifty 50 10%. Small cap, this is the average return I have taken from the market, how much they have written, how much return they have given in the last 10 years. So based on that, I have taken that return. Now 16% is the average return. This is the 16% average return I am getting per annum. So in that scenario, if I have a risk appetite of higher investment, then in that scenario also, in the less of 20 years, I will get 1 crore rupees. So that is the compounding of the market. If you invest continuously without waiting for the correct time, you will get good returns and higher wealth. So people says mutual fund sahi hai. Why? What is the reason mutual fund sahi hai? Because of the diversification, because of the lower cost. It is well regulated in the market. We don't have time to invest and monitor regularly on the script. So that is why we are investing regularly on mutual funds. The ticket size is small. Even many mutual funds are there giving for 100 rupees options also. Small people can invest 100 rupees per month, 500 rupees per month, and they start investments also. It is a very convenient, liquidate whenever we want. We can liquidate it immediately. And transparency is there. Monthly wise we will get the report also, how mutual funds they are allocating the assets. That is the risk classification of mutual funds. So this is the low risk. Who is what the conservative investors, who is the age of 50 years, they have very less time, so they can put in the low risk, because whenever they want it, they can take it from the market, and risk will be very low. Sometimes market will be volatile, it will give you less returns, and it will become you minus returns also. So that is why the low perspective, if I am in the age of 50 years or 60 years, I should choose low or low to low moderate. So the product level of the mutual funds helps the investors understand the risk monitor. The very high risk is the very aggressive investor in the young age, 20-25 years. We can invest in the higher, very high, just like new innovations, energy sectors, where people are innovating the market. That stocks will become your multi-bagger. So due diligence by investing in the mutual funds, same like in the primary market, how we are doing due diligence, we have to due diligence before investing in the mutual funds also. So we need to understand what is the fund and benchmark performance, how benchmark is performed and how the fund is performing. So we need to understand the expenses ratio of the mutual fund. Some mutual funds ratio is very high, so we need to understand that also. And risk level, check through riskometer before investment always. Funds story, before investment we have to understand the performance of the funds in how the mutual funds and how this risk they monitor it and last 3 to 5 years. Then only we can plan it, because in the new funds are coming, we are not sure whether who is the fund manager, how they've done it in the past. Portfolio turnover ratio, how frequently fund manager buys, sells security from their funds. That is also the correct method to understand. And background and history of the fund manager, and the fund manager whether he has handled any kind of previously any kind of script or not. If he has handled, what was the correct method on that time, we need to understand that also. So why due diligence is required for even the primary market in the mutual funds? Why it required? So without due diligence, if you do, it is like you are driving in the highway blindfold. So we don't know whether we will hit to any bus or any car. It will become a major accident, or you can run also. But in the longer run, it will hit you big accident. So proactive approach enabling investigate about the potential and prospective investment. So better understand the performance, greater possibility of future growth of the investment. So importance of the due diligence in the trading. So I'll just play you one small slide.
Let's understand the significance of conducting due diligence before trading. Due diligence means analyzing and investigating facts before making an investment. By making informed, you can gain a better understanding of the investment's past performance, and this knowledge helps you assess the potential for future decision making. Never give approval for trading in futures and options and other segments without proper knowledge or understanding of the segment. Instead, exercise your right to choose the trading segment by carefully reviewing and selecting the relevant options in the form. Always remember, prioritizing due diligence is essential before trading in any segment. In case of any issues or concerns, contact your stockbroker. If you are not satisfied or do not receive any response, contact the NSE on IGNSE. Let's understand the significance of conducting due diligence.
So I'm suggesting 6 smart investors practices for safe investment. Before investing, we should always have 6 practices. First is always believe in the market performance wise, and a smart investor does not trade based on the unsolicited stock tips recommendation. It's coming in the SMS, email, YouTube or Telegram. No one can predict in the market. So if we rely on that unregulated or unsolicited things, money will lose, and we cannot complain to NSE also on that. So NSE has given on the small video on that.
No one can predict the movements of the stock market, yet the market is flooded with illegal schemes offering guaranteed periodic returns to cheat unsuspecting retail investors. A few such models work by promising to provide fixed periodic returns or guaranteed returns and capital protection. In a fixed periodic return model, fraudsters promise retail investors a fixed percentage of their investments as profit every month. Here's a sample. Hurry now, invest 1 lakh rupees and get guaranteed 2% assured returns every month. Click here to know more. In capital protection model, it is promised to double your investment in a very short period of time. Here's a sample. Exclusive offer to you. Double your investment in 3 years, guaranteed. No documentation required. Click here to invest. I earned 18% to 24% return on my investments in the stock market. Want to know more? Click here to begin. However, in the securities market, there is no guarantee, and the promise of guaranteed return is illegal. So be a smart investor and don't fall for ads through SMS, calls, or social media. Any investment in such schemes is ineligible for compensation by exchanges. Report such practices to us on feedbk_INVG@nse.co.in or call us on 1-800-26.
Trading in unregulated products and platforms. So we know that Dabba trading also is available in the market. If we do in Dabba marketing and other things also, it will be illegal, and whoever is doing and who is giving you platform, both are illegal and both will go for imprisonment. So another thing is trading in unregulated products and platform. If you see, this is a very small example.
Maniji, what is this multi-bagger stock?
Multi-bagger stock, वो फिल्म है जिसे पहले तो कोई भाव नहीं देता, but eventually it will break all box office records. धन धनाधन पैसा, producer की तो सोना चांदी हीरे मोती, maybe even an Oscar. Multi-bagger means ulti returns.
Madam, फिर तो अगला ऑस्कर हम ही बनाएंगे. I've seen one multi-bagger stock start video, triple return in 3 months. I'll invest, no?
Oh my India.
I love my India.
Oscar movie नहीं, Loscar movie बनाओगे तुम. Loscar.
Loscar? What?
Multi-bagger के चक्कर में जल्दी beggar बन जाओगे.
But why, madam?
Blockbuster scam है ये, और कहानी कुछ इस तरह है.
Okay.
मैं, यानी कि the villain.
Okay.
I will bulk buy this stock.
Right.
And then I will promote this stock over SMSs, social media, online videos, misleading advertisements to artificially create demand. And thanks to Bakwa investors like you, the price will go up. Now you are thinking the price will go up further, but it won't, because I will sell my entire stock of this Kajra stock. And then price crash.
Madam, this is very bad.
Multi-bagger के प्यार में लुट गए हम बाजार में.
Then what I do, Maniji, how I become wealthy?
First, don't be greedy. यहाँ 2 मिनट में नूडल्स नहीं बनते, आपको 2 मिनट में रईस बनना है. And please take financial advice only from registered financial advisors and be well informed of the investment. No investment without proper information. सोच कर, समझ कर, invest कर.
Hello. Maniji, what is this?
And another thing is 6 KYC. We always update in the Demat or trading account, like name, our address, PAN number, mobile number and email ID to get update from the stockbroker. And income details are always to be mandatory update in the Demat account. A smart investor does not fall for assured returns or guaranteed returns in security market and portfolio management services. For that also the video is available.
Listen, check this key. This one. Invest 50,000 in this. After 6 months, you will get 10,000 every month for your whole life.
Really?
Really? Even I have invested in this. Just sign here.
Hey, look at this. Put 2 drops of this oil and hair grows back in a week, guaranteed. I'll take it over.
What nonsense. You just sign here.
Listen to this. Soma Ben.
keep on for a week and 7 kilos off. Hey, Motu, you take this.
No. Just forget it. You just sign here, no?
This is the best. Divine locket for lifetime of happiness. All of us should get one each.
Come on, what are you talking? Such things work or what?
So such things work out what?
Promises of big returns in a small period of time means trouble. Check the details of your investment scheme carefully before investing. SEBI, Har Investor Ki Taakat.
Giving incorrect or false promises, that is incorrect and illegal, and we cannot even complain to NSE and SEBI also for that. Trading in derivatives and options with caution, and only if you have relevant trading experience and high risk tolerance, then only you should invest in derivatives options. Otherwise, we always keep medium and long term perspective as a investors rather than investing in the derivatives.
मालिनी जी, सी स्टॉक मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट करना योगासन करने जैसा है. वेरी गुड फॉर यू. लेकिन किसी भी आसन को करने से पहले उसे ठीक से समझना जरूरी है. अदरवाइज यू विल एंड अप इन सत्यानासन. कौन सा आसन करके पछता रही हो? फ्यूचर्स एंड ऑप्शंस का. फ्यूचर्स एंड ऑप्शंस, वेरी एडवांस्ड आसन. उड़ गया पैसा.
You know, मालिक जी, as per the SEBI report, futures and options में only 10% traders make profit. बाकी 90% का तो loss ही loss.
Very good. Very good that you have also read the SEBI report on futures and options trading. Correct. Only 10% chances there of profit in FNO. My God.
I know now, but my broker should have known ना. He could have told me ना. इंसानियत के नाते.
Why इंसानियत के नाते? Regulations के नाते. You have signed the FNO disclosure form, and it's a very risky asset class. But you have activated FNO trading on your account. Yes? See, a broker has a showroom of vehicles for your money to go far in. साइकिल है, स्कूटर है, फैमिली कार है, स्पोर्ट्स कार है, एंड देयर आर सम वेरी एडवांस्ड रॉकेट्स. रॉकेट चलाना आता है?
नहीं.
रॉकेट है एफएनओ, चलाना नहीं आता, इसीलिए रॉकेट नहीं, पैसा उड़ गया. एंड नाउ यू आर ब्लेमिंग द शोरूम. क्या लॉजिक है?
मालिनी जी, आई एम वेरी हर्ट.
पैसा लगाने से पहले दिमाग लगाया होता तो आज वेंटिलेटर लगाना नहीं पड़ता. प्लीज सोच कर समझ कर इन्वेस्ट कर.
एनएसई द्वारा निवेशकों के हित में जारी.
If we invest in that kind of scenario without thinking, then we will lose our money. So next thing is assisting in organizing or participating in dabba trading is illegal, prohibited by law, and a punishable offense. Though it will give you, it will not give you any kind of tax perspectively, you will not have anything, but it will be, in the longer run, it will be very problematic.
Now, none of that KYC pass.
And no more margin payment.
That's key. And how's the missus? And her mother? She's happy when she's there. And no more worrying about tax payments.
And no one even gets to know our names. This is called dabba trading.
Yes, this is called dabba trading.
Dabba Gold. It always takes two hands to clap. That's why both organizing and doing dabba trading are criminal offences. Only trade at a SEBI recognized stock exchange. SEBI, Har Investor Ki Taakat.
Many people we have seen, they are asking, you can give it your trading account password, I will handle, as a like PMS, they are not regulated, but they will handle it. But SEBI always suggests we should not share our demat account or trading account password, because if we share with them, we will not be having anything. If they will lose it, we will not be able to complain against to them. So for that perspectively, NSE has given you a small video on that.
Malini, I have not had much luck in trading.
So you are not a lakpati. Don't worry and don't hurry.
But my friend's investment broker is very good at trading and all. Will it be okay if I give him my online trading password?
Password? You want to share your trading account username password with a trading expert to trade on your behalf?
Yes.
You love your money?
Yes.
एक कहावत है.
Okay.
If you love something, let it go. If it comes back, it's yours.
Yes.
You want to test this theory with your money? Spoiler alert, it's not coming back. अगर आपका और आपके common sense का divorce नहीं हुआ होता, your common sense would have told you. Sharing the username password of your Demat, trading or even your email is the first step towards the perfect crime.
But I am innocent.
सारे क्राइम सीन पे फिंगरप्रिंट्स तो आपके ही हैं, किसे पकड़ेंगे? After the loss there will be no investigation, only standing ovation for your ultimate stupidity. Talyaan. Username password are like the security guards of your trading account. And after every transaction, an SMS is sent to the registered mobile number. That SMS is like the CCTV footage that tells you what's happening in your account. Keep an eye on the CCTV footage and ensure that the security guards only report to you.
अच्छा, okay.
NSE द्वारा निवेशकों के हित में जारी.
Hello.
So that is the risk slide from my side, and after that Nikita will handle it. So currently we can have 10 minutes break, and after that we'll start.
Good evening everyone, and thank you ICAI for giving me an opportunity to give you awareness on the investment program or investment, how people invest their money, how to know if your money is stuck or if you're not getting any response from the source where you have invested, where to complain, where to move forward. So all such things can be done through an BSE, NSE website or SEBI, or apart from SEBI there are certain service cells has been organized by the SEBI where you can put all your queries together or complain or appeal, where you can go further. So I'll just brief you on that thing. So as on today's, if you see, NSE and BSE have lot of investor registered having the Demat account. If you see comparatively, last year there was approximately in Tamil Nadu itself there was 51 lakhs registered investor who has a Demat account. But if you see on today's date, it has been drastically increased twice. It's almost 1 crore, whereas 51 lakhs in the last year, and currently as on 26th of November there are 1 crores 2 lakhs investors have their account in the NSE and BSE. So approximately they have the same numbers. If you see NSE and BSE, they have the same number. If you see the overall, or not only in Tamil Nadu, but overall, all comparing all the states, there was last year was 11 crores 54 lakhs and currently 20 crores 64 lakhs. So it's like keep increasing. The reason may be the young generation start investing their money having a Demat account, so they get more awareness, so they think it's a short way to earn the money. So one thing may be the reason. Second is now Ministry of Corporate Affairs also has come with the all private company which is not comes under a category of a small company should demat their shares. So even unlisted public companies or private limited companies has to demat their shares. So that also comes in as a investor. They have to open a investment account, a trade demat account. So that may be the one of the reason for increasing the investment demat accounts. So you have a dispute in your whatever investment you have made and kind of thing. So whoever your stockbroker is there, you can just ask the clarification like this is what the news in the market, is it correct? Or if he says yeah this is correct, or based on your due diligence what you have seen, and based on that you can invest in the market. No, if you are not satisfied with the complaint which you have given to the stockbroker, so you just you can come raise a complaint to the NSE or BSE further steps. So what you have to do, once you make a complaint, you have to retain all the copies of communication what you have made to your stockholders. It should not be a verbally or something. It should be all in your email only. That example, like if you have given a nominee detail, but the stockbroker has not updated your nominee detail. Even after multiple follow-ups, he has not responded, and because of that, you are not satisfied with whatever reply he is giving. So then you can just file a complaint with the SEBI or NSE or BSE based on your level of complaint. Next, So, like once you have crossed with the stockbroker is not giving you a satisfactory reply, then what is the next step you will do? So you have an investor grievances redressal with the NSE and BSE, both they have it. The same process is the same because it is organized by the SEBI only. So it has been how to do. First, both NSE and BSE has given an investor service cell. It is a cell, a group of persons is impaneled in that, where you can raise a where you can write a complaint. It is like an online process where you have to register your complaint with the portal NSE or BSE, and based on that they have lot of places. There is a cell is there. Even in Chennai it is there. In Chennai it is there in the Koturpuram. So where the cell is formed, like around 7 people will be empaneled in that, and you can raise your query in a writing or in an online or physical form also. So and another once if you're not getting any reply from that, you can also register under the SCORE. There is a one more portal by, organized by SEBI. Whether it is a BSE or NSE, you can put your complaint to the SCORE portal, and you can write your all your details in that, like name, email ID, PAN number, mobile contact number, and your query and supporting documents. So based on that, the scores will take your complaint, and according to that you will get a redressal for your grievances. And then is another option is appeal. If you're not satisfied with the score, whatever they have given a reply to you, so what you can go for an appeal mechanism, maybe an arbitration or conciliation. So further is arbitration and conciliation. You can choose according to your requirement, whether you want to go for conciliation or an arbitration. So, and further, if you are not even satisfied with the award which has been given whether by conciliation or arbitration parties, then you can go for an high court or Supreme Court, wherever your queries comes and stands. So this is how grievances mechanism works. One is, first is your own stockbroker. If stockbroker is not working, you can just, your investor service cells are there, which is managed by BSE and NSEs. If that is not working, you can in that it comes a SCORE. If SCORE is not, you are not satisfied with their awards also, you can go for arbitration and conciliation. And if you are not satisfied with the arbitrary award, or if before that also you want to go for an appeal, yes, you can go for an appeal. So that arbitration award, arbitration or proceedings will be stand cancelled. And further may be High Court or Supreme Court according to your grievances. So how you file a SCORE? I was just saying you can launch a complaint in a SCORE. SCORE is a platform which is majorly used by all the investors as on today's date. So you can visit, just you can type SEBI SCORE or something, you will get the website open, and you have to do registration. It's a normal registration where you have a DMAT account number, a PAN number, everything has to be registered there. Then select a complaint category, what kind of complaint you want to register, against whom, whether a listed company, whether a stockbroker. Against so many category will be there on whom you want to raise a complaint. It can be a like a listed company, but you cannot raise a complaint for an unlisted company, because this is not a platform for an unlisted companies or any other type of companies. If you have any other type of companies like Nidhi companies or private limited companies or unlisted public companies, you have to do your complaint under MCA portal, where there is a one form is available which is called investor complaint form. It is a form, and you have to put all your details in that form, and you have to upload in the MCA portal. So that one is there for unlisted, unpublic companies, Nidhi companies, or any companies which does not fall as a listed categories. Next, then complaint details. You have to put all the details. What is your problem? Like you are not receiving any duplicate share certificate, or you are not receiving your dividend on time, which is declared 30 days prior, but you have not got a credit. So all such kinds of queries only will be taken on record. Not that market has been fluctuated because of this SMS, I have invested that money and I have lost that money. That complaint will not be entertained. That will be straight away rejected. So this is what you have to make yourself aware about it. And then add supporting documents, like how we have told you have communicated to stockbroker regarding your nominee change or your name change, anything may be that. So even if he is not doing that, then you can have a supporting documents related to that, and you can add to your SCORE's complaint portal and give a submit. So this is what a 15 days process. Definitely in 15 days they will revert you. If they are not reverting in 15 days, then an additional 10 days are given to them. Otherwise, it will be directly SEBI will reply to that. Or if you have an option to go for arbitration or conciliation on that. So this is what a platform for score. So how investor will launch a complaint, and for whom, against maybe in a listed entity. And once you submit a complaint, they will take an action, and on that action, that 15 days report will be given to you, and designated person will take that report and submit to SEBI. So this is how the process will take on. If you are not satisfied with the score also, that is what arbitration and conciliation I was talking about. That comes under the platform called online dispute resolution. So this was another platform created after the score. So it is like you don't need to go for conciliation, arbitration, where I have to go, where I have to find a person, where to I should launch a complaint kind of thing. So it's an online portal has been given by SEBI itself, where you can launch your online dispute resolution. You can choose whether conciliation or arbitration according to your. But in arbitration, one clause is there where your claim is more than 30 lakhs. Then you can go for arbitration. But it is there's no thing that you cannot go arbitration at all for 30 lakhs rupees if your claim is not 30 lakhs or if your dispute amount is not 30 lakhs. You still can go for arbitration, choosing accordingly, but the cost of arbitration is comparatively high compared to conciliation. So conciliation cost, as a dispute person, you have to pay around 5,500 rupees for proceeding for conciliation. But there in some case for arbitration, there is stage-wise amount is there. If your claim is for 1 lakh, 2 lakh, or 1 to 5 lakh, or 5 to 10 lakhs, something like that, it goes up to above 50 lakhs is there, means you have to spend around 1.5 lakhs as an arbitration fees itself. So you have to choose accordingly which is your budget friendly, or your claim stands valid for that particular amount or not. So you can choose accordingly whether arbitration or conciliation. Only the key points are there. It is not limiting you to 30 lakhs, but still you can go further for you can choose arbitration, but the fees are higher compared to the conciliation. Conciliation cost is only 5,500 as per the SEBI portal. So you can file a new dispute, select intermediary, maybe a public, which company, whether a stockbroker, whoever is involved in your as a party, as an intermediary, you can select. You can select your category. You are an investor, or you are a whistleblower, or whatever, whoever you are. So accordingly, you can select your category, and then enter your dispute details. What is your dispute, kind of thing in that. So based on that, so maybe your amount has not been managed with properly in the portal. I mean in your portfolio, your amount has not been credited to your portfolio account and all. So you're not able to transfer your money which you have deposited or something. So all such things, queries people will have. So based on that, your disputes, if the amount is used, the dispute may be high. So if you have not traded, but still the some shares has been brought from your account. So all such, that's what, no, you should not share your password or email ID password to anybody, or trading account password to anybody. So something, marking up or managing something can happen. So that is the reason you have to put all your details accordingly in the dispute. And once you submit, there is an option also available, track your dispute resolution progress, where it stands, how, whether it is which stage it is, and so all such details will be there available. And even the conciliation or arbitration, everything is through VC only, video conference only. You don't need to go presently appear somewhere, or presently go and sit somewhere. So everything happens through VC only. So even MCA, if Ministry of Corporate Affairs also had a certain guidelines for not if you get any rumors, you have to report immediately to SEBI, something like that. So there was lots of newspapers were there, so nobody were able to manage. See, if we are staying in India where so many languages are being spoken, so we cannot keep the track of all the newspapers which comes all around India. So we are living in Chennai, so we may know Tamil, English, Hindi newspapers maybe be circulating in majority. But we don't know, like place somewhere in Assam, Bengal, or some other place where other languages are spoken, like Punjab or Marathi and all. So there may be some rumors about the company's portfolio or company's news or something, because the company may have planned there or something may be related to that, or even they just may speculate the market just to boost their trading things and all. So we don't know. So that regulation has come that if anything comes you have to report, but it was highly impossible, and that has been extended by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs for the future, that you may report further. I mean in future, not currently. They have just given an extension for that particular period. So any influence comes or any media influence comes, and immediately we react on that. Oh, this has come in the market, so immediately let us invest on certain thing. But that is not the scenario. That is not the case. You cannot do that. So you cannot rumors, maybe that person has invested. We don't even know who is that person. So based on that rumors, we should not invest. So I have just one small clip on that. So I'll just play for you.
Rumors and media reports hold the power to sway security prices and volumes. Therefore, verification is key to informed decisions. Before trusting any rumor or media article, investors should look for clarifications from the company on the exchange or company website. Don't let the headlines dictate your moves, and verify the accuracy of rumors through the clarifications sought by the exchange and those issued by the company. For further assistance, reach out to the NSE on ignse@nse.co.in or call 1-800-266-0050.
So much good, invest with God.
NSE. Rumors and media reports hold the power.
So that's what, you don't believe on the rumors. If you have need clarification, you can ask your stockbroker, you can ask the NSE DSE through emails, or the toll-free numbers are available. So you can seek their advice on that, whether you are really, the rumors are correct. They give a clarification. Yeah, I have seen the reports where they say, we have approached the SEBI for clarifying certain things, whether this, one of the companies, this financials were leaked before they have come out for the quarters. So based on that financials which has been given in the newspaper or news advertisements or something, so people started believing that the financials has come out and the company is really doing well. So but they were not aware whether such really this is genuine or not, because the company itself has not come out through that financial statement. They have not uploaded in the BSE, NSE or your stockbroker's site. If you see that and if you open your company's website or something where you will be able to find the financial statement, there itself we are not able to find the financial statement of the company. But somewhere in the news media we have got that this financial has been out of the company and they are really doing good or something, and based on that rumor you have invested, and now you are going and approaching your stockbroker, your scores portal, your online redressal things, that based on this publications I have invested and I have lost the money. So that in that cases the complaint will be rejected straight away. So just because of the rumors, if you are investing, they will just reject your application, reject your dispute, everything. They will not entertain that. Even though it may be through media or something, this is not a reliable source. Media may give information, but does not mean that you are, they are encouraging you to invest in the company. So one more clip I have for that. So it will be like, understand who is the person and on whom trust we are investing in the company.
There is a super plan. Invest 10,000 now. After 6 months, take 20,000. Whatever you put, doubles.
Double?
Yeah. No, Mr. Kumar, na? He's also invested.
You know Kumar, sir, na? He's also invested. What all he's got today?
Big car, big house, everything is got.
Kumar,
He's also invested in it. Bangalo, car.
What you put, straight doubles.
Are that Kumar, na?
His life is set.
Or Kumar sir, house, car, everything.
You know that Kumar, sir?
What doesn't he have today?
But who's this Mr. Kumar?
Mr. Kumar. Kumar.
That Kumar, sir. And Kumar.
Don't just go by what people say. Check the details of your investment scheme carefully before investing. SEBI, हर investor की ताकत.
So that's what, we just don't believe in rumors. Invest accordingly what you really due diligence, what you understand that company, then go for investment. Otherwise, like Kumar, you will like otherwise like these people, you will searching who is Kumar. So the market is about, this market is totally a fragile market. Nobody can predict what is gonna happen today, now even in the next second also. So what are the the market is really uncertain, unstable, or high volatility is there. So like what are the reason behind this fragile market? So maybe there are a lot of reason maybe that we have seen a lot of companies which comes around because of this political instability, maybe a natural disaster, market bubble, economic downstir. So like example, economic downstir, if you see there is a recession, or in a company there is slackflation, like people will not able to find a job, but still companies like GDP is growing but employment is not generated. Then how there is a manage of economic development or economic GDP is increasing? So that one thing has to be understood, whether the company is really generating employment or they have just 5 or 4 people in a one room and just speculating the market or just manipulating the market. So based on that you have to check whether really the company is very strong to invest, or whether the company have really a good portfolio on that. Political stability, whenever any other war, or like example Ukraine war and Russia war, we think it's an outside of India, but whether it is reflected anything in India, maybe yes, we don't know, but directly, but maybe indirectly. See, Ukraine is Russia is a place and where 70% wheat is grown and it is exported. So and major buyer are South Africa and other Middle East. But because of that war, they were not able to export their goods. So because of that, definitely the market crashes on commodity. So certain things are there which we are not aware, but indirectly we are also affected because of that. And how we find that market is fragile? What are the indicators? Certain times is like stock markets, suddenly the prices goes high. That is called big billionaire multi-bagger becomes a. Suddenly something comes and it becomes a one of the video we have seen, it's become multi-bagger, but it makes you beggar. So something like that. So we cannot tell, okay, this market, the trend may go high or down. Based on that investor investing, you cannot keep investing the money. Oh, all are investor, that all green line goes up, so we will also start investing because this particular stock will go, or particular investment will go in a higher returns. So that may be not possible. You have to do your due diligence, market study, and then invest in your portfolio management. So and then like as I said, GDP is growing, employment is not growing. That may be the economic indicator to you. The market may not be strong. That particular investment which you are making may not be strong in that particular point. So please look into that and then try to invest in any of your investment schemes. So and credit condition, how much the company is borrowing, whether the borrowing is high and equity is less, what is the debt equity ratios. So all that maybe you're much aware as a profession. So based on that you choose a investment and accordingly you do the particular investment. So what basically we have a fear in how we behave in this fragile market. What happens, what is our mentality, what we do? Oh, all are selling, chalo, we will also sell in the market. Once we see the trends, okay, everyone is selling, we will also sell. Everyone is buying, we will also buy the shares. So but that should not be the case. So we should not get panic. And we should not sell immediately. Oh, market is going down, let's sell immediately. You may be ending up in the losses. The market is not about emotions. Market is all about rational analysis. How you you should not market should not affect you psychologically. You should understand like my emotional values are different and my rational values are different. If you have invested in a company which has a strong basement or fundamentally strong, then you don't need to worry. Maybe today it is a bad day as a company, maybe the tomorrow. So you have to, in the long run, you have to wait and watch what you have understand and analyze through due diligence, and fundamentally the companies are strong. So FOMO, actually what fear of missing out. Sometimes what happens when the trend state, oh, everybody is buying now this shares, so let us also buy the certain, we also come into the same trend and we start buying the assets of that particular company. and we keep like suddenly risking over exposure to speculative assets. So based on that fear and all, we should not panically start selling or buying any of the investment. Maybe it be not only in the stock market, I'm saying it may be in your gold. See, everybody will like think, okay, now the gold are going high, maybe it may go more high, so let me buy some few gold grams or something and keep it for future. And by the time you buy, and next day if you see, oh, it's gone down. So it is highly fragile in the market. You cannot expect tomorrow it may be the same as it is today. But you cannot panically sell. Oh, then you will feel, okay, I have the gold I have bought in 1,000 rupees. Today it becomes 980 only. So 20 rupees loss only is there. So I'll just sell it immediately. So at least I will not go further loss. That should not be the case. If you have bought in 1,000 rupees, just hold it even if it goes for 900, because if you have an asset in your hand, so nothing to worry. You have made an investment. It is not no profit making product for you. So investment should be in a long way where you can understand and keep it in a for the long term of 10 years or 15 years. If you see the gold trends amount, the amount is not the same as was last 10 years. And now today is not the date what will be in the next future 10 years. So definitely we are not investing for today or tomorrow. We are investing for a long term, for our maybe a retirement or maybe our future plans accordingly. So like building resilience in fragile market. So that's what I was saying. You should keep a long-term perspective. So you are investing in gold today. It should be for 10 years or 15 years or 20 years. I will not be selling it. So that is definitely the price will be increasing accordingly. So maintain and apart from that, you're just as your Mr. Praful has said, that 30% of your investment from your salary you will be keep as an investment. Apart from investment, you should also maintain your as an emergency fund. We never know what is tomorrow has to come. Nobody has expected COVID, right? So nobody knows what will be your future. COVID will be given 1.5 months or 2 months. No unemployment, or people will not go out of the home. Nobody is predicted that. Nobody knows that there will be fund is required at home also, staying at home, because you need at least food and basic necessity to to balance your lifestyle. So all that with the emergency funds has to be planned. It can be planned through your insurance, your health insurance, your life insurance, and your other retirement plans. Lot of things are there as a planning you can do as an investor. See, if you are not able to plan your resource accordingly, you can have a certified financial advisors. There are a lot of certified financial advisors are available in the NSE and BSE website itself, who are certified to give you financial advisory. So based on that recommendation, at least you can manage your portfolio accordingly. How much to invest where, like 10% on equity, 15% on gold, 10% on whatsoever. There are a lot of things are there. So as a retirement, how to plan your retirement. So at the age of 60, I don't want to do anything, but I want a monthly income of 1 lakh. So how to do that? So that all, if you can plan yourself by your due diligence, that's okay. But if you're not able to do that, then you have a financial advisor who can manage your portfolio with the income which you generate. So based on that, you can definitely come up at least, what is your expectation. So nobody can give a guarantee, but what is the expected market return for past trending process. Based on that, at least financial advisor will plan and give you accordingly. So everybody know that Lehman Brothers case law. So it was a very big investment company in the US. It was around 150 years old company called Lehman Brothers. It was the 4th largest investment banking in US, and the Wall Street, which is very famous in the US market for banking channel. So what happened to them? How 150 years old company has collapsed? So nobody knows what happened suddenly in just a year. Till 2007, everything was okay with the company. Company was making really good profits. But suddenly what happened, there was recession started, the company started losing their profits. It was and finally it came to a bankruptcy, because the assets were not managed properly. They have put everything, every source in one basket. So that's what saying, you cannot put all the eggs in one basket. You have to diversify your investment plans accordingly. What they have done, they have just given all their all their mortgage money to the buildings and other things. What happens? The crisis comes when the buildings and land and buildings rates got down. They started hitting by that. And because of that, they have made around 4.9 billion loss in that particular 2008 itself. That too around a period of a quarterly period. I mean, in a quarter they made so much of losses, and because of that they have to go for a bankruptcy and other things. So you never know, the market is so volatile, and we don't know which industry will boom and which industry will not. So Lehman Brothers is a good example where a recession also happened because of their investment in one category made them a fall, or whatever the reason may be behind. But being a big investment company, and they lost terribly in the market. So this is one of the case laws where you can understand the market is so volatile. You cannot depend on one sector. Definitely you have to pool your investment in such a way so you do not face any problems on that. So there are a lot of famous saying is like, look for quality business, not just stock. Like, people will see, oh, this stock is going on. No, you have to see the quality of the business, what they are doing as a businessman. See, if everybody says this is a green energy is booming, green energy is booming. Every vehicle, one another vehicle, if you see, there will be a green color. Even autos nowadays started with a green color label boards and all. But you really think this will grow immediately in India? No, I don't think, because it will take some time, maybe a 5 years or 10 years time, because we are here in the place where we cannot stop for 1 hour and charge our vehicle and go. Definitely we don't find a charger point everywhere now, as on today's date. So definitely just fill up petrol in 5 minutes and move on. That is what our trend as we are following. But definitely the reason a green energy will come into the picture. Maybe because it may be developing stage or maybe underdeveloping stage as on today's date. But if you see in the place like Delhi and all, you will prefer having a electric vehicle rather than having a petrol or diesel vehicle. Because the pollution itself is so much that you can't afford having such compromise on your health. So definitely it is state-wise, it may increase boom immediately, but not immediately. So you can invest in such sector where you have a future scope or something like that. So, and like if you want to invest, as I said, it should be for the next 10 years. If you want to invest in 10 minutes and think, oh, green industry will boom, no, definitely it will not boom in 10 minutes. So definitely you have to have a patience for investing investing for longer periods, so you can get a better returns. Or maybe it can be anything. It's not only it's not only about the stock. It can be anything. It may be a retirement plan, insurance. See, LIC or any other, I don't want to name any of the insurance company, but if you see any insurance company, they sell, you invest today for 10,000 rupees, after 10-20 years only they will start giving. Immediately they give only certain amount, which if policy comes tomorrow changes, we cannot do anything on that. So base better is like longer the investment, better the return. How scrutinize how well the management is using the resource. It's not only your money you're investing in a company. So who is using your money? See, you're getting a salary and the salary is managed by us. We know where to spend, where to save the money. But when you are giving to someone, we don't have any control over like how they are going to invest in future or something. So we can check through the resource. Like where they are investing, if they are buying our money, what they will do for that money. If any IPO is coming, so they may have a bigger version, like if they are coming with a further public offer or something, they will know, okay, we are doing for another plant setup or something, growing a team big. Because of AI, they want some machines or technical things to be done, so that all things will be there. So based on that, you can choose, scrutinize your money, how you manage accordingly, and choose the resource. Always stay away from the hot stocks. A lot of hot stocks are going on nowadays. If you see the trending of anything like Vodafone, became very hot stock. Like everybody wants to know how Vodafone has come. But what ultimately happened, it fallen very down and now started growing back again. But ideally, if you see the telecom industry, majority is being given by Jio and further Airtel. Then Vodafone comes somewhere. So when the two players already are there and where BSNL is already struggling with the Vodafone to come up, how to we think okay this Vodafone will also be in a giving you higher returns in a shorter times. Definitely it is not possible because we are used to of Jio, we are used to of Airtel. But when we see Vodafone, definitely it may come because you don't have much telecommunication competition. Definitely it will come up, but you have to wait. And it may fall because there are certain reports also as given under for Vodafone which says that the value is only 2 to 3 rupees or something. But definitely it may be true or may not be true. But you have to have patience and watch whether as per your due diligence, what do you think? Whether this telecommunication sector will grow? If yes, then you can put your money on that. It all depends on your analysis, your study, and how you predict the market based on that. It is not basically just information given, okay, no competitors, so it will run. Definitely it is not. You see Fevicol, do they have a competitors? A majority choice of any carpenter is only Fevicol. Market timing is practical, emotionally impossible. So that's what I said, you always have to control your behavior. Or panically selling, panically buying, it is not a solution. You have to practically think, okay, Fevicol is one company where nobody can beat. Yes, there may be some players are there, but nobody prefers that. Anything if you want to stick a paper or stick a wood part and all, you will think only of Fevicol. You will not call any other gum or any other kind of brand also. You will just say only Fevicol. The similar, you have to have patience in your and practical what you are thinking and what you are choosing it. So as a investor, what are the points to be remembered? You should not share any electronic communication network to anybody, as given by Mr. Praful also in videos, that you should not share your user ID and password to anybody or email ID or something. And you should always update your email ID with your stockbroker. So all the mails communication received by you directly, and it should not go out of the vein. So you will now have control over that. And further, you should be know all about your brokerage commission, what you are paying to your stockbroker. So there is definitely when they are giving a services to you, they will charge you something on that. So there are a lot of commission brokerage is varying different type to different commodity and different sectors also. So based on that, you should have to know what you are paying and out of what you are making profit or what you are gaining out of that, and you are not losing out of that. So basically you have to have a control over all your amount which you are spending and which you are gaining it. Regularly log into your account and verify your balances. Like normally we have lots of accounts, maybe a mutual fund account or maybe portfolio account or so many things will be there. So you have to keep regularly check whether whatever you have invested is particularly there or not, or what is there any bonus issue or something comes, so it is added to your portfolio or not. So all such keeping a track will help you to to have a further complaints like the bonus is not credited to your account. So you have to go to Scores portal, have to check with the stockbroker. Once you have a control over your own portfolio or over the app, so you can have a control. I mean, what is happening and how the amount has been, how the shares has been credited to your account or not. So you don't need to there is a chance of less complaining and follow-ups will be there. Your time is saved basically. So that one thing is there. Make payment only through your banking system, banking channel. You don't deal within a cash or kind of thing. So if people say you pay me cash, I will credit you the so much of amount or so much of investment in your portfolio or something like that. That is not possible. Nothing is cash dealing is possible as on today's date. That is the reason you have a Demat account where there is no option for cash. There is nothing called cash on delivery, right? Where we have an Amazon or Flipkart, everything we have a cash on delivery. But in Demat we don't have a cash on delivery as on date. Kya? So as an investor you should be alert. Like what are the things you have, that's what I said, no cash dealing. You should not deal any type of cash. So you should not sign any blank KYC, like how we have like F&O, you have just marked it yes or no, something like that. and because of that regulations, because of that you have marked yes on that, and you may, or even if you have not marked no or something, then also there is a problem. So tomorrow your stockbroker may tick or something like that, because we don't read every document very carefully, as it is always says, all documents related to your investment, please read carefully, but we never do that. I mean, so many pages will be there. We generally don't look into it. We just ask the broker, what is this page about? What is this page about? So anything which you are marking as any KYC or any documents which related to your regulations or related to your account or any investment category, just make it as a not applicable. Just put as NA if you don't want to tick any of the sources, or if you are ticking anything, please read that line what exactly it says. So based on that, you are be alert on that particular part. So do not deal with unregistered intermediaries. So basically, as you said, one of the dabba trading kind of things are there. So they are all unregistered persons. So you should not deal with them. It's an illegal and impunishable offense also. Do not share your password. Do not keep the funds idle with the stockbroker. Generally what happens in our portfolio, we just buy and sell, keep in the account itself the money. For a month we don't take back to our bank account or something. Should not keep such money in that. It will not fluctuate any of the income over there. Just keeping your account balance in the your portfolio or something. So better to transfer to your bank account or invest again if you have such money to invest it again. Don't keep it idle. Avoid herd mentality. That's what the same. Like Kumar, he has invested 10,000 and earned 6 months like double the amount. So don't go with a herd mentality. Invest in the business that you understand. So definitely, if you are understanding that business, it will help you to understand and analyze what they are actually doing, how their financials are growing. So that will make you more interest towards the sector. So I understand, yeah, telecommunication sector is that how this works, how this company will grow up, what are their ideas and all. So if you have an interest in that sector, definitely it will work for you. So when you have an interest in the company, in that particular sector, please definitely based on that only you have to make an investment. Do not try to time the market. So nobody knows when is the perfect time of entry and exit. Nobody knows that. So definitely you have to look into accordingly, which you have to not to wait for a correct time. Nobody can predict which is correct time, which is a wrong time. Whenever you feel that the company will boom, the sector will have a good returns, or you think that you have a financials where you can invest for your retirements or something like that, definitely start investing on that particular day itself. So that is a good time to start. Do not trade based on the stock tips. So basically, someone will say that this is really gonna do well, so we should start investing on that. So we should not believe on that particular tips. Nowadays, I myself getting lot of messages in WhatsApp or Telegram channel. Please join my channel. There are a lot of tips will be there. This is the target. This is what short term for 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, something like that. If I would start believing that, definitely I would lose all my money. If they have so much of tip, why should they will give to us? They themselves will earn a money, right? So that is the logic behind it. If they just want to create a speculation in the market, so all people will start thinking, oh really this is really going good, so we'll start buying. The person who have buy it in bulk, he will sell it in one shot and earn a lot of profit. So basically we should not have a tips. You should have your own due diligence and then perform on the investment. So you should not have fall prey to fraudulent sending emails and SMS. The same thing. You should. That's what I say. No, if I got an SMS regarding a Telegram channel or something, should not fall for that. So that is what basically soch kar, samajh kar, invest kar. Any other doubts you have? And you can ask any questions if you have related to that. So I'll take a seat. Thank you so much.